Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, March 25. Government says it will be working swiftly to have the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA, sent to the Governor General for enactment. This follows amendments to the bill in Parliament on Tuesday to include that of additional fines. The bill is to be debated and approved by the Senate. Speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing, the leader of government business in the Senate, Kamina Johnson-Smith, said the intention behind the passage of the DRMA is to ensure there is a more effective enforcement mechanism in place.
Every effort will be made to ensure that the appropriate documentation is sent by Parliament to the Attorney General's chambers and then on to the Governor General for the swiftest possible assent.
As it relates to compliance to the new regulations, State Minister in the Information Ministry, Robert Morgan, says the intention is not to penalize persons, but to have them conform in order to save lives and reduce the burden on the healthcare system.
The question I would like to answer is, how can we get more citizens to wear masks? How can we get more citizens to recognize the crisis that we're having in the health sector? Not necessarily whether the ticketing system will be compromised, because we should not be here after 1 year of continually appealing to Jamaicans.
Among the penalties are a $5,000 fine for not wearing a mask in a public place, refusing to comply with social distance rules, and breaching the rule governing public transportation. A $10,000 fine is to be paid by those who do not comply with the curfew order or stay at home when experiencing flu-like symptoms. The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, says more than 155 million doses of coronavirus COVID-19 vaccines have been delivered to 33 of 35 member countries. PAHO Director Dr. Carissa Etienne said the amount includes 2.1 million doses procured through the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access or COVAX facility. She said through negotiations with COVAX partners, PAHO has ensured that 21 regional countries participating in the facility will receive their first deployment of vaccines by the end of this week. Jamaica received the first overall shipment to the region last week with an initial 14,400 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine.
We expect over 100,000 doses to be delivered to various countries this week, and 1.2 million additional doses have already been procured.
Dr. Etienne said doses already delivered are helping countries to start the process of protecting healthcare workers and other vulnerable persons.
Our region-wide immunization network is the backbone of our primary healthcare system, which enables us to reach more people and to maintain high rates of vaccination coverage.
$119 million in subsidy has been approved by Cabinet for the movement of 35,000 tons of sugar cane from Clarendon, St. Catherine and Trelawney to the Worthy Park factory for the 2020-2021 crop year. Funding will come from existing monies within the Sugar Industry Authority and the Sugar Company of Jamaica, SCJ Holdings Limited.
The funds for the transportation support and logistics support will be reallocated from the approximately $177 million previously allocated to the Sugar Industry Authority and Sugar Company of Jamaica Holdings Limited. Over the past 3 years, the government has expended over $500 million in support to facilitate the transportation of sugarcane and to effect repairs to cane roads as part of the continued support to farmers and other stakeholders within the industry.
Minister Williams was speaking at a post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday. Continuing with news coming out of Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing, Jamaica is to deepen its relations with its African counterparts, the Republic of Liberia and the Togolese Republic. This follows approval by Cabinet for the diplomatic engagement. Information Minister Favour Williams says it is important for Jamaica to diversify and broaden the scope of opportunities for increased trade, investment and political collaboration, as well as technical and economic cooperation.
The establishment of diplomatic relations with Liberia and Togo is in keeping with the policy objective of Jamaica to develop greater and more meaningful engagement with African countries to provide increased opportunities for economic, technical, and cultural cooperation and the pursuit of trade and commercial benefits.
Meanwhile, further partnerships will be established with small island developing states, SIDS, of the Pacific. According to Minister Williams, diplomatic relations will provide opportunities to expand Jamaica's bilateral economic, technical, and cultural cooperation.
There is a scope of cooperation in multiple areas, including environment, health, hazard mitigation, disaster resilience, education, agriculture, and fisheries. The formalization of relations with these countries will serve to deepen the bonds of friendship and cooperation in the political and technical fields.
The Ministry of Justice is informing members of the public that it has now incorporated the use of virtual sessions in the delivery of its National Child Diversion Program. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says this modality became necessary due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially working with service providers across parishes. National Child Diversion Consultant Ruth Carey says the ministry will support face-to-face sessions wherever they can be facilitated.
Because we treat with children, it's important that the first engagement or the initiation with that child, it has to take place face-to-face so that we can ensure that we're speaking to the right person and we have the proper consent form signed to move forward. So we accommodate a face-to-face first session, and then the remaining sessions are done virtually. In terms of trainings, our trainings are held virtually right across the island in all of the parishes.
Ms. Carey also says where facilitators of the program in some parishes have difficulty with internet access, efforts will be made to facilitate them at child diversion offices. She was speaking in an interview with JIS News on Thursday. The National Child Diversion Program is in line with the country's obligations under the Convention on the Rights of the Child to reduce the number of children institutionalized. And finally, public sector workers may access their National Housing Trust NHT cash refunds up to April 2022. Prime Minister Holness made the disclosure during his recent contribution to the 2021-2022 budget debate. Since 2016, some 26,300 public sector mortgagors have been receiving their contribution refund in cash annually. This cash refund is unlike what obtains for regular mortgagors, whose contribution refund is paid directly to their NHT mortgage accounts.
When this provision was initially established, it was based on the economic situation which resulted in a wage freeze under the Memorandum of Understanding between the public sector workers and government. With the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, such an extension is once again needed.
As part of the NHT's COVID-19 relief effort, the agency will allow persons who have been unemployed for a period of 12 months or more to access their contribution refund 1 year in advance. Therefore, a contributor who has lost his or her job due to the pandemic can access their refunds for 2013 and 2014, the years for which the NHT is presently issuing refunds.
The initiative will expire in July 2022.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.